Hello everyone, welcome again in Eng-Man YouTube channel. So in this video, we will have another case of tNavigator. It's a reservoir simulation software and I think it's very useful and quite powerful. So hopefully our learning today will be beneficial for all of us. And today's topic is about updating schedule to your current or existing reservoir simulation. All right, so I'm going to use a sample case from tNavigator, and this is our model. So as you can see, we start from 2009, okay? And if you go to the end, the last time step, we will end up in September 2014, and we have one, two, three, four, five wells. Okay, let's say this is our existing reservoir simulation, and we want to add more historical production data or historical injection data. And we will also add one more well completed with its production or injection data, historical production and injection data. Okay, so yeah, maybe you are currently handling reservoir simulation, and depending on the size of the simulation of the case, depending of how many wells you are handling on your model, maybe you you will update the production history or injection history once a year or once in 6 months or in each month if you are very diligent. And yeah, it will ultimately depend on the size of your case. Okay, so let's say here we have a relatively small case and we want to add 4 months new data, 4 months, okay, from 4 months after the last time step. Okay, so that will be our game plan, and we also add one more well. All right, so this is the 3D model and this is the 2D map. We are currently looking at the pressure, and of course we go to here, and this is the model update data. This is the master data. Actually, there is nothing special here. It's a very basic case. What's different in this case is we just want to update the schedule. Okay, and if we go to the other files, actually they are basic. The grid file, the same, the props, regions, but maybe we need to check this one, the include file. Okay, so if we go to the bottom, you see here, the last time step is 1 September 2014. Okay, and you can see we input wcon inch. So this is the history and wcon hist. All right, and we will add more. Okay, so basically we have several things to do. Okay, the first thing, of course, just a review of the existing model in 2D as well as in 3D. And then let's say we want to, we want to download or we want to import a trajectory. Let's say I'm just going to show you how we upload, okay, into the software, the trajectory. But the game will be like this. First, we already have 5 wells here. We want to use the existing trajectory. We want to export the trajectory, and later we will download again the trajectory. Okay, I mean we want to upload again the trajectory that we already exported. Okay, so first we are going to export the trajectory, and we can do that here. Use well filter, well actions. Okay, we see well creation settings, but we actually want to use this one. Export trajectory. Here we have 5 wells, well 10, 2, 3, 6, and 8. Okay, where do you want to save the file? Here, and the name is model up underscore welltracks.txt. So this is the file that we will produce. The file will contain the trajectory information. Okay, and the directory will be here. Okay, so this is we have folder for files, include, results, summary, user, and the master data. And we will store the trajectory file here in the outside. Let's just click on OK. And you see we already produced this model. And if you open this one, so we have trajectory for well 10, well 2, well 3, well 6, as well as well 8. Okay. All right. And now we will load this data again back to the software. Okay, so let's go. All right. And we can go here, project, and then additional options, load well data. Okay. And here in schedule files dialog, we have layers, trajectories, groups, events, history, this format, and well logs. Okay. So let's say we want to update our model. Okay. Not only limited to this model, but yeah, we want to update any model. What we mean by updating can be update by unloading trajectory, not unloading, by loading new trajectory from new well, by loading, well event, perforation or shut-in, and updating by loading new production history. Okay, so we will do just that. So here we want to upload trajectory. Go to trajectory and then here, click here to add file. And of course, we want to add this file. Okay, click on open. And here, the type, make sure we select trajectory. Okay, so that's for uploading trajectory for the 5 wells. But we have one new well. So we click on here, click here to add file. And in the case of the case provided by tNavigator, they provided us with this file. Go to file here, well9.trj, so it's trajectory file. Click on open and here change it to trajectory. Okay, so far so good. So we have loaded the data, the trajectory for existing 5 wells and one new well. And not only trajectory, we also want to add events. Okay, events, of course, for the new well. So click on this one and this one, perf well 9. Okay, so let's set here. So if we go to the file, by the way, file. Okay, so this is the file. Okay, it's just name of the well 9. This is the date. Okay, the date on which the well be drilled and completed. Okay, and actually the date on which the well is perforated. So on this date, the well is perforated This is the top interval, and then this is the bottom interval. This is well diameter, and this is the skin factor. I mean, this is the well radius. Okay, so let's go back. So it's very easy. It's very simple, and we will input this information onto the software. And let's go back to the software. Okay, so we will set up here. So automatically tNavigator will give us this. Okay, skip lines 0 because we only have one line. So we don't want to skip that line. So skip line 0, and well is well 9. The date is this one, 1 October 2014. And then the event is perforation, top interval, bottom interval, radius, and then skin factor 0, and click on this one, skip line. So we will skip anything after this skin column. Okay, so far so good. So yeah, sometimes this happen, we cannot see the OK button. Hopefully I can touch the OK button. All right, okay. At this current visualization, I cannot see my OK button, but yeah, it's okay. Later I can click on that OK button, but let's continue further. Now let's go to history. In this window, we will input the new historical data. Okay, so again, the tNavigator already provide us with history for month here. Okay, so as you can see previously, I showed you the last time step. Okay, is on in September 2014, and we will add more data October, November, and December. Okay, yeah, so we add new data for 4 months. Okay, so let's go back to so click here to add file, history for month. Okay, now we will skip this line. So in skip line, we type in 1. Okay, it's different from the previous data for event. There is only one line, so I don't want to skip that line, so skip line will be 0. In this case, the first line is not necessary because we already have the header here. So we will skip this first line. Okay, so far so good. So in this case, we use metric unit. So this well 10, this column is the name of the well. This is the date of the event or the date of the production. And this is the oil production, water injection rate, and the rest will be skipped. So we can use skip line. Okay, so far so good. By the way, we can go to the last time step just to check. Okay, so now we have historical data up to December 2014. Okay, so if we go down here, we have data up to the December 2014. Okay, to take into account in cumulative production calculation all available data, including December 2014, end date should be chosen to be, can we find the end date? Oh, it's again resolution issue. I somehow cannot see my end date button, so let me pause a little while here. Okay, so I switch to a wider monitor to solve the resolution issue. So let's redo what we just did. So trajectory, this one, type trajectory, And let's load this for well 9. And then for the event, click here, and then this is the event, skip line 0. And then after skin, we will skip, and then okay, and history, click here, history for months, skip line 1, and then after water injection rate, we will skip. Okay, so here, please be careful here. So we have flow rate data for December 2014. So this data will be applicable for the entire December 2014. Okay, so to capture the cumulative information, okay, the end date should be 1 January 2015. Okay, if we stop at December 1st, 2014, the cumulative production in December 2014 will not be considered, will not be included. Okay, so to capture all the flow rate in December 2014, we will end the date in 1st January 2015, I mean. Okay, so yeah, you can also check the apply historical data to previous step and assign 0 values to model dates missing in historical data. Okay. All right. So I think we are done here in this section. And you can also use well efficiency factor if you want. Okay. Oh yeah, one last thing before we click on OK. So basically, this production data means so the flow rate between 1 September 2014 to 1 October, it will be this rate. Okay, and then this rate will be applicable for 1st October to 1st November. And from 1st November to 1st December, these rates will be applicable. And lastly, these rates will be applicable for 1st December to 1st January on the next year. Okay, so yep, that's for the production history. And then we need to also include the control. So click on control, and let's also already imputed automatically. So basically the historical data will also be used as control or as constraint. Okay, so it will guide the computation during the simulation. So wells type, we use detect by rate, and for producers, control mode will be based on liquid rate. Okay, and we also use bottom hole pressure. So the minimum bottom hole pressure as another control or another constraint is 50 bars. And okay, and what else? And for the water injection, so the control mode will be injection rate, and bottom hole pressure, the maximum will be 450. Okay, so the bottom hole pressure, the constraint for 50 bars. So far so good. Yeah, if you have the well log, you can input the well log. And yeah, we can click on OK. So you can see in this resolution, after I change to wider monitor, I can see my OK button. Okay, so click on OK. Schedule process successfully. You will be able to see the changes after schedule is reloaded. So yes. So after reloading, Let's check the files here. We already have our user file. Previously, we don't have this one. So let's just check. So in this user file, we already have all the data that we input, which include trajectory, of course, for well 10, well 2, well 3, well 6, well 8, and also the newly added well, which is well 9. And when we add new well, we already include well specs, the keyword, well track, of course, the trajectory, and also, yeah, we already input well wcon hist, okay, for the control, and wcon inch, all right, for the control as well. I mean this one for the well control. Okay, the constraint will be bottom hole pressure. And yeah, again for the new well, so we input the perforation event, so that will be included by this keyword com.md, and then comport. By comport, we say to the tNavigator that yes, well 9 is imputed. And then this one, the historical again, historical production, and historical injection. And this is the well control for all wells. Okay. This is the history for production, history for the, you know, for the injection, and this is the well control. We input the constraint bottom hole pressure, and so on and so forth. So, yep. So now you see again, we have user file here. Okay, and then you can check also the schedule. The schedule will be updated. Okay. For well definition, well production, you see. So wcon hist is well history for production, and wcon inch with H is well historical injection. And for the production, this one, well control, this is for the operating target. Okay. So don't forget, well control, well CNTL is for the operating target, and this hist means history for production, and inch with H means history for injection. Okay, I think that's almost all before we can run the model. And let's check the grid properties. Here we already input one new well. It's still in green color because the well is still inactive. If we move the time slider, yeah, later the well will be, will be turned to red because well 9 is a producer. And the last time step is 1st January 2015. And by the way, if we go to graphs, wells, and then well 2, we can show the historical rate. I think well 2 is in injector. Is it? Yes. So let's say well 3. So the new data that we input is this one. So 150 for the oil flow rate. You see? And let's check on this. So wcon hist, Control F, wcon hist for September 2014. Well, 3 is 150, right? 150 here. And yeah, I think let's change to well 6. In October, it's 37.78. So let's see. Wcon his in October, for example. Well, 6. Okay, so wait a minute. So the data October 2014, 36.91. So it will be imputed for the next month. Okay, so let's be careful here. I think there's an error. So this data is for October. So basically when we input here, let's go back to additional option, load well data, history. We actually need to use this one, apply historical data to previous step. Okay, so let's do that again. Okay, so this one, history for months, and then skip line 1. This one, let's see if we use apply historical data to previous step. What's going to happen? And then this 150 bars and water injectors, and it's 450. Okay, let's say click on OK. Yes, reload again. Okay, now so we already correct the error, but let's be careful here. I'm going to show you the history file first. This one. Okay, and let's check. Currently we are looking at well 6. At September, it's 37.78. At October, 36.91. At November, it's 36.05. And at December is 35.242. But don't forget, we put the last time step to be 1st January 2015, and we actually do not have the data. So tNavigator will use the previous rate to be used in the last time step. Okay, so please be mindful whether you will use apply data to previous step or not. Okay. So yeah, you can also check for the well 8. Basically, it will be the same. Okay, 134.0.038 for December, and for November is 135.103 here. And the last rate from December 2014 will be used for January 1st, 2015. And we can also compare it to files, and then here for October, well 8 is 135.103. Oh, not this one, I think. So is this one? One October, well 8, yeah, this one. October 2014, 136.246. For 1 October, well 8, the liquid rate 136.246. Okay, let me check by the way when we input that. For the control mode, this is the liquid rate and this is the oil flow rate. Okay, so that's okay. And yeah, let's say we click on well. We are currently showing the historical data, the dashed line. We can also open this oil rate, click on OK, click on oil rate, and it will be like this. Okay, this line is from simulation, and this dashed line is for the historical data. They are not matched, but yeah, we can perform history matching, but this case is not about history matching. This date is about inputting new schedule data, including, you know, at trajectory, at well event, and at historical data. Okay, and what else? Yeah, at this point, we can go back to grid properties. We are currently at the starting point. We can click on run. Yeah, this is the pressure 2D as well as the 3D. By the way, for 2D, we can show contour line or color by grid 3D. And on the graph, yeah, we can produce the flow rate data as well as the total data. For total, we can show the oil total and water total as well as the water injection total. Okay, that one for the water injection. All right, and by the way, we have one new well, right? Well 9. It's a production well. So let's check the oil rate as well as the oil historical. So we have this data. Okay, let's check history for months. Well 9, we only have two data here. Okay, the well actually was completed in October. So the first production data come in November. We have data for November and December, and for January, it will use the previous rate, which is 150 from December 2014. That's why on this table we have three flow rates for 3 months. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all. By the way, again, we produce user file after we load the data for trajectory, well event, and production. And yeah, I think that's all. So again, if you have your current model, okay, and then you want to add more data, maybe not new well, okay, maybe just new historical production or injection data, you can just click on project and then additional option, load well data, go to history and then click on here and then load your data. But you can also just directly go to files, schedule here, and just add your more or new data starting from the bottom. So let's like, I can click on this one. So whatever happened after October, I can just copy everything. All right, and then Control C, and then just put after the schedule here. So whichever you like, you can Yeah, like something like this. Okay, you can focus on, editing the script, or you can use the, this user interface like the one we just did. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video is useful. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next tNavigator tutorial video. Thank you.